A few minutes ago, Rachel Reeves made a statement in which she claims that the scenes of her crying during Prime Minister's question time had nothing to do with the political instability that was demonstrated last night, nor with any reports that she's about to leave the Treasury or to get sacked. According to a statement that was just released by the media by a spokesperson for the Chancellor, the reason for her emotional state is a personal matter, which, as you would expect, we are not going to get into. In addition, they stated that the Chancellor will be working out of Downing Street this afternoon. They emphasised that she was not presenting her resignation to the Prime Minister, and she hadn't presented her resignation this morning. It was suggested instead by a minister that Miss Reeves was crying as a result of a purported altercation with Sir Lindsay Hoyle, who is the Speaker of the House of Commons, and several reports have said that he had expressed his regret to her and was abrupt with her. He was apparently irritated by the length of her answers last night. After her planned cuts to benefits were savagely ripped apart by the Prime Minister late last night, in a final concession to get his flagship welfare package through the Commons, the shocking scenes occurred that required Lindsay Hoyle's intervention. However, as a result of this action, Miss Reeves' credibility in the Treasury has been severely damaged. She will now be required to find billions of pounds in savings, or more likely will be increasing taxes in her October budget. Meanwhile, Stephen Flynn, somebody who people who are familiar with my channel will know I have a lot of respect for Stephen Flynn. He's one of the few people who can stand up in the House of Commons and speak without notes. The SNP leader has come out with a message of sympathy for the Chancellor. It again demonstrates that he is one of the more principled and able politicians in Westminster at the moment. He says, like almost all MPs, I don't know why the Chancellor was upset in the chamber today, but I do hope she is okay and back to her duties this afternoon. Seeing another person in distress is always difficult, and we are wishing her well. Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the opposition, of course, has no sympathy for Reeves at all. She said personal matters doesn't really clear anything up, as you normally tell people what the personal matter is. Well, there is a time for point scoring and there is a time for humanity, and Badenoch has never been quite able to score points at PMQs. She is useless at that, and she now demonstrates adroitly that she cannot do humanity either. What a miserable excuse for power. The sooner she goes, the sooner our Parliament can begin to repair the damage done by her incompetence as opposition leader. The scenes in PMQs, to be a bit more precise, at lunchtime today were some of the more uncomfortable scenes in the House of Commons that anybody has seen in recent years, where Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, was left in tears during Prime Minister's questions. The tear rolling down her cheek was not merely a personal moment caught on camera, it was a political spectacle that laid bare the deep fractures within Labour, the gravity of its welfare U-turn, and the pressures now threatening the Chancellor's own position and credibility. During PMQs, Reeves sat beside Sir Keir Starmer as he defended his welfare reforms, freshly gutted the previous evening to avert the biggest rebellion of his leadership so far. Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative leader, seized the moment, asking Starmer directly whether Reeves would remain Chancellor until the next election, and Starmer refused to give that guarantee. He deflected with Mrs. Badenoch certainly won't. It was meant to be some sort of quip, but it didn't quite work, and it was conspicuously evasive, and everyone knew it. And in that instant, behind him, Rachel Reeves was caught on camera wiping away a tear, and her sister, the Labour minister Ellie Reeves, was seen holding her hand as they left the chamber. A spokesman later called it a personal matter, but politics rarely affords senior ministers such luxuries. And this is against a harrowing backdrop that points again and again to the incompetence of the Treasury. Reeves' entire fiscal strategy has been blown apart. She had banked on a £4.8 billion of savings from welfare reforms to meet Labour's ironclad fiscal rules, promising to fund day-to-day spending without borrowing. But Labour's revolt forced Starmer to gut that plan, scrapping key changes to personal independent payments, PIP. The Institute for Fiscal Studies now says there will be no net saving by 2029 or 2030. That leaves an almost £5 billion black hole in Labour's spending plans, and Reeves faces the prospect of filling it most likely with tax rises that Labour vowed to avoid. Reeves was already a target of internal criticism for her rigid rules and failure to consult backbenchers adequately, and Tuesday night's humiliating climb-down confirmed that Starmer cannot always control his MPs and that Reeves cannot guarantee the money she promised. Kemi Badenoch's questioning was brutal, but it was also politically shrewd, shrewder than usual. She described Reeves as looking absolutely miserable, accusing Starmer of using her as a human shield for his incompetence. It wasn't mere personal cruelty, it was a calculated move to deepen Labour's embarrassment. And by refusing to confirm Reeves's future, Starmer gave the attack credibility. This matters because Reeves' reputation with investors has been one of fiscal discipline and stability, or at least that's what she hopes. Yet the sight of a visibly upset Chancellor on live television, coupled with her leader's refusal to back her fully, spooked markets. Gilts sold off sharply, the pound fell, bond yields rose, and for all the denials about her going nowhere, confidence in her ability to deliver on Labour's promises took a real, qualified hit. It'd be easy to dismiss the tears as an embarrassing lapse, but they reveal something essential about power, loyalty, and political stress. Reeves is under extraordinary pressure. She faces internal anger over the welfare debacle, a credibility gap now with the public, and open speculation about her job security. Starmer's failure to back her unequivocally was not just bad optics, it was a signal to his MPs that she is dispensable if needed, and she better get her CV sorted out in case she needs to get another job. Oh, she probably needs to polish up her CV with what? What can she say? Who knows? This is a deeply corrosive issue, deeply corrosive to party unity. And meanwhile, Reeves is left in an impossible position. She must somehow balance Labour's fiscal rules with limited options to raise money, all while avoiding politically toxic tax hikes on working people. Her tears may have been personal, but they were also political. They exposed the fragility of Labour's economic plan and the strain of trying to hold together an increasingly fractious parliamentary party. In politics, tears are never just tears. Rachel Reeves' visible emotion at PMQs was the human face of a wider crisis, Labour's internal disunity, its botched welfare reform, and the real possibility of broken promises to the electorate. Sir Keir Starmer may insist she is going nowhere, but his refusal to say so, when it mattered most, will haunt both of them. As Labour heads towards an election promising iron discipline on the public finances in, 4 years' time, Reeves and Starmer have shown anything but discipline in their own ranks. And in the House of Commons, that truth rolled down Rachel Reeves' cheek for all to see.